This video is brought to you by my coffee, Benchwarmer Brew. Stick around to the end of the video and learn more about our huge Black Friday promotion and merch drop. Has there ever been a more maligned head coach than Jim Harbaugh at Michigan? But the one thing that makes the khaki pant wearing, perpetually grimacing coach unique is that he's had an incredible amount of opportunities to be maligned. His 7-year tenure at Michigan has numerically been a success. But defining success, well, that depends on who you ask in Ann Arbor. Is not being Brady Hoke a success? There's also no denying that Jim Harbaugh has been the victim of bad luck and of things happening outside of his control. But the fans don't care about luck. They care about results. And when it comes to their biggest rivalry and competing on a national stage, the results just haven't been there for Jim Harbaugh. But when you look at things closer, he has a case that it hasn't entirely been his fault. So let's pose the question. Is Jim Harbaugh the victim of bad luck or a victim of his own doing? Let's answer that right now. How did we get here? Jim Harbaugh had an impressive resume before he arrived in Michigan as their head coach. Having played for the Wolverines, he beat Ohio State his senior year when the Buckeyes fortuitously missed a field goal in the last minute. Harbaugh went on to play in the NFL, where a dropped interception kept him from the Super Bowl. He was a solid pro who logged 14 seasons. From there, he followed in his father's footsteps, coaching at Stanford and then in the NFL, where he made a Super Bowl, but ironically lost to his brother, well, on a 50-50 play. In 2015, his alma mater came calling, and it seemed like a natural fit for Michigan. An alumnus, successful, grit, khakis, weird expressions on the sideline. And so started the bumpy road. Harbaugh versus the nation. In order to evaluate Jim Harbaugh as a coach, we have to look at him in 3 phases. First, versus his national competition and his bowl records, then versus his key rivalries in the Big Ten, and then specifically against Ohio State. As I said before, numerically, Harbaugh is a success, especially compared to other coaches like Brady Hoke and that fraud Rich Rodriguez, who were a combined 46-42. As of this video, Harbaugh is 59-23 and has appeared in 5 bowl games. His record in those bowls, 1-4. They blew out Florida in 2016, then suffered losses to Alabama, FSU, South Carolina, and Florida's revenge. In the loss to SC, they blew a 4th quarter lead. In the loss to FSU, well, they blew a lead in the last 2 minutes, losing on a TD pass with 36 seconds left. Really though, when you look at Harbaugh in bowl games, there's no one freak moment that spelled his doom. The numbers are what they are. He's 1-4 in postseason games. Sorry, Jim. It's on you. As far as his Wolverines versus the nation, there's no question that luck hasn't been a factor there either. The Wolverines have 0 CFP appearances in his tenure, while OSU, MSU, and Notre Dame have all gone during that time. OSU making it 3 times. We'll get to that later. The highest ranked he has achieved is number 2 in 2015, and no higher than 4th since. It's no question that by the time the committee is ready to make their bracket, Jim's teams aren't in consideration. And that's on him. Michigan versus lesser rivals. Wolverine fans, you know what's coming. It's 2015. With just 10 seconds left on the clock and up 2 points, all the Wolverines have to do is execute a simple punt, and they win the game. We know what happened next. That was unquestionably not Jim Harbaugh's fault, but it set in motion a bunch of bad breaks for the Wolverines and for Jimmy. In 2016, they were 9-0 and in the hunt for the college football playoff. Their problem? They overlooked Iowa, who beat them 14-13 on a last-second field goal, and that's not even when their dreams for the Natty got crushed. Again, foreshadowing. 2017 lost to MSU, where they didn't score in the second half. Also got blown out by Penn State. 2018 lost to Notre Dame, but had a great 3-game stretch where they beat Wisco, MSU, and PSU. 2019, they blew out Michigan State. 2020 was a disaster season, and that leads us to 2021, where the undefeated Michigan Wolverines took on the undefeated Michigan State Spartans in a game for the ages. Or maybe a choke for the ages. Michigan marched out to a 16-point lead at halftime, then proceeded to blow it in an epic collapse, allowing sustained drives, 4th down conversions, quick scores, and twice ceding 2-point conversions to the Spartans. Just about everything that needed to go right for MSU did. Oh, but guess what? The Wolverines fumbled with 7:12 left, up 3 with the ball. What could have sealed the deal ultimately sealed their fate. On the flip side, the Wolverines had chances to win this game, and they didn't come through. Yes, it takes bad luck to blow a lead, but it also takes poor coaching. Okay, but in the case against his lesser rivals, I'll give this one to bad luck. I mean, trouble with the snap is an all-time folly, and that was not his fault. Michigan versus Ohio State. Now, let's be blunt. Michigan under Jim Harbaugh has been bad against their biggest rivals. 0-5 against the Buckeyes, and 4 out of those 5 games decided by 11 points or more. Let's talk about the lone close game in 2016. Michigan held a 10-point lead with a minute left in the third quarter. After some back and forth, the game went into overtime. Michigan took the lead in the second OT, only to get semi-screwed by a questionable call on fourth down. Had it gone Michigan's way, the game was over. Too bad it wasn't, and OSU ended up winning the game, won the conference, and robbed Michigan of a trip to the CFP. Once again, in the biggest moments of Jim Harbaugh's life, especially the ones which could have gone either way, he got the downside of the luck. But that's just one instance. What about the 4 other blowouts? What about the results? The multiple lost seasons, the failure to make the college football playoff, let alone win a natty? That's on Jim Harbaugh. Yes, he has had bad luck, but at the end of the day, numbers are numbers. And so we'll find out tomorrow if his number gets called. Guess what? My coffee brand Benchwarmer Brew is launching our first ever Black Friday sale, where if you go to the link below, you can get 25% off your entire order from today until the 29th. No code required. Yes, any one of these delicious, ethically sourced beans are 25% off, even Brandon's and Tree's bags. Oh, and on top of that, we're introducing our first merch drop pre-order sale. Yes, until 12/3, you can reserve one of these fine shirts which you can drink your coffee in and yell at the TV while wearing. Also, gift cards are available. Treat your friends or your enemies, we don't care. Go to the link below or visit benchwarmerbrew.com. I'm 5 Points Vids, and you made it to my next video.